difference at the moment, plus 17 in comparison to plus 13 for Pirates, but a good win here for the Buccaneers could well see them top of the table tonight. They're up against the Magesi side, who sit at the bottom of the Betway Premiership, but of course if they can pull off an upset win, they could well move themselves off that bottom place. It all depends what happens with Orbit College, who have also kicked off this evening in their match at Polokwane City. 59 days since Magesi last played. They are the last side to get a game under their belt since the break for the Africa Cup of Nations. They're the only team who haven't played yet since that break. It's been almost 2 full months without football. How rusty will they be? Their last game, of course, a 1-0 loss to Sekhukhune United on the 3rd of December. Orlando Pirates' last game was also against Sekhukhune, but just a week ago in Polokwane. And that, of course, ended in a disappointing goalless draw for the Buccaneers. But they do have an unbeaten run of 10 matches in all competitions coming into this game, and certainly the form side. William Shongwe is alongside me as our expert analyst. He'll be chipping in as we have a look at the lineups for today's encounter. We start with the home side, who've made 3 changes, all in attack. Sipho Chain continues to be ever present this season. No changes at the back from the Sekhukhune game, but Mofokeng, Apollos and Butuma are all into the lineup today. That means Matswanganye, Sibele Bele and Mahopa are left out. Msindani from Zimbabwe and Andre de Jong, signed from Stellenbosch, are on the bench for the very first time.
Well, in attack for the Pirates, 2 inverted wingers, which adds Mofokeng as the number 10, and which means it's all in attack. Obviously, Magesi are going to be sitting, creating that low block, so you need attacking players, you need players with skill to prize them open, and that's how Wadu is hoping to go about it.
The Magesi lineup has 5 changes from that game against Sekhukhune on the 3rd of December. There is the new signing Rampadu, who comes from Polokwane directly into the team. The possibility of 3 centre-backs tonight with Mahoka Matima in. Lekronolo Mchali comes into the midfield, and there's a change up front where Vandala takes the place of Tabang Sibanyone. The big question mark here is around the coach, Abram Nteo, on the team sheet as head coach. He was also the man who had the interview before the start of the game, and we'll have a little bit more of an update on that for you in a moment or two. So a bit of rain clouds above Orlando today. We have a crowd estimated just under 35,000. Very good for a Saturday afternoon here in early January. It's a sign of the times with the Buccaneers doing so well, and Magesi are doing their part. They brought a few of their fans down from Shesheko. Now, William, let's talk about the coach. Abraham Nteo on the team sheet. John Maduka, there's been no announcement of any changes at all. What's happening there?
Well, it's a bit difficult to say exactly what's happening, but I had the opportunity to speak to the boss lady, and that's Francina Makubela, who at that stage told me to just hold the line a little bit before he could reveal. And obviously it was in a bit of a meeting with John Matuga and a few other officials of Magesi, and unfortunately the result of that meeting didn't quite come to the end of it whereby I could reveal it to you exactly what's happening. But my line is open for the best lady to send a message at some stage of the game.
Now there's John Maduka in the stands, but he's not on the team sheet, he's not on the bench. He wasn't offered up for the pre-match interview. Has he been fired or has he not been fired? If you fire the man, why is he here at the game? If you haven't fired him, why is he not on the bench? It seems rather mysterious.
Indeed, but at this stage, listen, I can only advise you to wait up until further notice. That's the best I can tell you.
Not sure whether he will be passing any advice down to Abraham Nteo on the bench. We will keep an eye on John Maduka through the 90 minutes. Our eagle-eyed cameramen are certainly watching all of the various permutations. So, two sides out on the pitch. A little bit of a delay, as you probably know by now, because of the threat of lightning. When the teams were warming up round about 5:30, suddenly the match commissioner came running out and ordered them off back into the change room. They've had a little bit of a warm-up in the last 10 minutes or so, but we are getting matters underway. Not all that behind schedule, we might add as well.
Interestingly, if I may add, the last time this happened here at the Orlando Stadium, where there was a problem where the players had to go to the dressing room and back again, Pirates were playing against Marumo Gallants, and they dumped 8 against Marumo, and basically the Pirates officials, some of them that are close to them, are saying it's happening again. Possibly that might just have a repeat.
Well, we hope either way, if there's 8 goals here, no one's going to be complaining. Doesn't matter who wins. Skumbuso Gaza in charge today from Port Shepstone, 35-year-old. Remember, he was the ref of the season 2 campaigns ago. Lalelani Mgadi, plenty of experience from Durban, is our #1 linesman, along with Mervyn van Wyk, who is from Kimberley. And as you can see there, Mr. Gaza has the FIFA badge, which means he's a FIFA accredited official for the season. Eugene and Gluli next to him in the tracksuit, our 4th officials, also on the panel for 2026. We congratulate both of them for their achievement. So it's been a day or a week of birthdays for the Buccaneers, wishing their chairman all the best for the coming year, and Magesi, of course, for the obligatory team photo as well. So it's been a rather fascinating return for the Betway Premiership. You might have missed it earlier, but AmaZulu winning away against Marumo Gallants. They're up to 3rd place now. Pirates have actually dropped down to 4th after AmaZulu won, and because Chiefs won in midweek at Marumo Gallants as well. So Abdul Samwado has got some work to do to try and get the Buccaneers above both AmaZulu and Chiefs, but it's beginning to resemble a bit of a traffic jam at the top of the table, and it's exactly what we wanted, William. We are tired of one team dominating. Let's have a bit of a race for the league title.
That's the only thing that will continue to make this league exciting. The Betway Premiership is something else, and the congestion is not only in the top, right at the bottom as well. It's equally as congested. It's a dogfight, and that's why we love this game. And today is no different here at the Orlando Amstel Stadium or Arena.
We also saw there briefly a picture of Abraham Mateo on the bench today. Former under-23 international for South Africa, spent most of his career at Bloemfontein Celtic. Was a dogged midfielder in his playing career, and has had some coaching experience, of course, in the head coach role at Royal AM, but this season has been the assistant to John Maduka at Magesi. Came with John from Royal AM last season. Kosinati Sibisi skippering the side today. No Mbokazi, of course. He's headed off to the USA, and we wish him all the best with Chicago Fire. They'll have their first league match in about 3 weeks' time. It'll be very interesting to see whether he's going straight into the lineup or not for Chicago Fire. Mahocha is the veteran at the back, one of the 5 changes. 35 years old now, William. Made his debut in the top flight last season at the age of 34, which means there's hope for all of us yet to get a chance to play in the big show.
Well, I keep giving people the hope out there, but please don't fool some of us. We know what we're capable of. But yes, it's fantastic that even at this age, you can still enjoy Premiership football.
Orlando Pirates to get matters underway. And they are defending the goal to the left-hand side. All black colours today, Magesi in the blue. And the Buccaneers are the hot favourites, but Magesi, you will remember, shocked them a season or so ago. It's Apollos in the danger zone, and that decision goes in favour of the visitors. A little bit of an early stirring of the pot from Orlando Pirates.
Beauty about having Gutuma as a top man, he doesn't hold the line. he dashes out to pick up the ball, and cleverly Police sees the opportunity and tucks into the inside, creating the numbers which Wadu was talking about. You've got to create the numbers, bring the numbers so that the compositions are better, a little bit higher in the offensive zone.
I remember, William, I wasn't keeping my eye on the clock there, just in terms of how quickly that ball was played in and whether potentially we might have had a very fast goal. We'll try and see if we can't get a time for you, but it does just remind that the quickest goal ever in the PSL was 7 seconds. Led by Eleni Lebiani. Do you remember him? Free State Stars?
Yes.
Outstanding goal scored, in fact, 10 seconds. Now, Pirates, Moremi. Well, that would have been 3 points for the Springboks. The way he hit that one through the post, it was so high.
He's one of the inverted players. Apollos on the left and Moremi on the right. And this ball comes perfectly because he's now attacking with his left foot. And maybe the problem, just maybe, drizzle is what didn't happen. We had a drizzle earlier on here. Ball is a little bit slippery. It might have taken a ball as well.
So our guys down in the van are telling us, William, it was 15 seconds by the time Apollos had been stripped of the ball. But I'll tell you what, had that gone in, they might have come close to equaling the record. So Eleni Lebiani, 10 seconds for Free State Stars against Santos in 2010. And Peter Shalulile, 10 seconds for Sundowns against Chiefs 2023. Do you remember that? Not so long ago. Now Magesi in possession, having seen off that early little shock. Looking to produce their first attack. Header played in from Mossadi, looking for Vandala. Those are the two up front for the visiting team today. They do seem to have the three centre-backs, as we saw on the team sheet. So Matima has been pulled back from his midfield role to sit alongside Mokone and Mahocha.
And one of the reasons I know I spoke to John about maybe the first part of the season, a few games into the season, where they said Matima, he's a midfielder by nature, but when you have him amongst the central defenders, he brings calmness. Magesi, a team that played running football last season for the most part, but he wants them to change that, to try and play a bit, to start the movements from the back. So Matima provides that calmness to help with the build-up.
Magesi, of course, stunned Orlando Pirates in the Carling knockout here, October 2024. You will remember they were 3-0 up at half-time, and by the end of the game they were hanging on to a tenuous 3-2 lead, but they advanced at the expense of Pirates and went all the way to the winners' podium in the Carling knockout of 2024. So they have had previous success here at the Orlando Stadium. They also held Pirates to a draw in the league towards the end of the last campaign. But Pirates beat them here in the Carling knockout this season, 2-1, a fairly comfortable win. The one goal from Johnny Mokone came right deep in stoppage time, a consolation for Magesi, who were pretty much outplayed. And Pirates also winning when they met in Polokwane, December 2024. So one win for Magesi, 2 for the Buccaneers, and a draw in the previous meetings between these two sides.
A game that Talent I would like to forget very quickly, that 3-2 win of Magesi, because one of those 3 goals was an own goal by Talent to help in defense, but he's gone on to do bigger things that I'm sure he's forgotten that situation a long time ago.
There's Ozone Apollos in possession, one of the 3 changes made by Coach Wadu. good to see McCowler back. Of course, he had the injury that meant he was the midfielder of the season in the last campaign, and then he was suddenly not playing at all, but out with after surgery. It's taken him a while to get back. Here's Moremi. Dino Verrooyen's another who's come back from injury during the break with the Cup of Nations. Really Mofokeng is stripped of the ball, and that is a rather ambitious attempt from him, Charlie.
PT Magesi has to do with some of the best players. Makubu, for one, who is no more with the team. Sbanyoni is out with an injury, knee. So they're really a little bit short in as far as the attacking pace.
They have signed Levi Mashiani, who was Paul Aquati's City. Didn't really make much of an impact. And they've got two players on loan as well in the last week from Orlando Pirates, Siyabonga Ndlozi and Sifiso Lutule, but one would presume that the loan agreement dictates that they would not be considered for today's encounter. Now for Verrooyen. Mbata alongside McCowler in the heart of the midfield. Does like a long-range shot, Mbata. That effort rather disappointing.
He can generate power almost like from a standing position. If you look at the fact that he didn't have any running to build up the momentum to strike it big, but that's where he has been able to score those kind of goals. For me, not a 6, more like an 8, because he has the freedom to push a bit forward, leaving McCowler just a little behind him,
which I'm sure will be the case today. Siema alongside Sabisi again at centre-back. And of course Orlando Pirates have added to their defensive structures in the window with the signing of Mpo Chabatsani from Marumo Gallants. Probably one of the reasons why Ulisa Nda was allowed to leave this week. His contract cancelled and he's now a free agent, but presumably he saw the pecking order and that he was still very much down the list.
For the quality defender he is, I think it made business sense for me for him to look at the options to be released. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of takings waiting for his signature around the country.
If not overseas as well.
Overseas as well, yeah.
He didn't have a happy time with injuries at Orlando Pirates, poor man, and you'll remember that own goal in the derby plus the penalty he gave away. But for the rest, was a good servant of the Buccaneers. Now Apollos, good ball. Mofokeng. Butuma, he's got time. He had all the time in the world. The defenders were just looking at him, and Butuma has the Buccaneers in the lead, and we are not even 10 minutes into this game.
Fantastic play. Mofokeng does what he does the best when he peels into the left-hand side, has the composure, beats his defenders, the composure to look into the inside, and he rolls it into the center. It's an area where you can't afford to mark space. That's man-to-man, but the speed of Butuma to get himself ahead of everybody there is what was the trick that worked in his favor. Good movement.
Sign from Richards Bay, of course. Mofokeng took his time here, dragged it back, but look at how much time Butuma's got. 3 defenders around him, drags it onto the right foot, and then still has time to steady it and stick it in the back of the net. But 1 touch, 2.
He creates that time for himself. Instead of running in with the defenders, he pulls back. He takes a second just to drift backwards to create that space. Beautiful. It's a good turn. First touch, excellent, and then the finish with the laces.
2 goals against Golden Arrows in November was his last or his only contribution previously for Orlando Pirates in the Betway Premiership. He's now up to 3 for the season. I think always feel that he owes them a little bit because of that missed penalty against Lupopo in the Champions League, which effectively ended Pirates' hopes. That's Moremi now. Chipazeze coming across and just making sure that was going to go wide.
like the thinking of Moremi. There was no immediate pressure, and it's a range, and he hits it on the ground. Remember, the grass is a little bit wet, so it works in favor of the striker. So unfortunately, I think he didn't apply as much power as he should have.
Lights are on here at the stadium. Sunset in the distance. Always a gorgeous sunset here in Gauteng. We've got a few dark clouds overhead, but we hope the rain has gone. And Orlando Pirates will be joining Mamelodi Sundowns on 32 points if it stays this way. And if they can get a decent haul of goals, you never know. They might be top of the table over the reigning champions by the end of tonight. And they will have a game in hand as well, which comes on Wednesday for Pirates away at Lamontfort Golden Arrows. Excuse me, against Amazulu. And then I presume they're going to stay down in Durban because they've got the cup game against TTM this time next week. In fact, it's a 3 p.m. kickoff next Saturday. That game's at Moses Mabhida. Team from Venda playing a team from Gauteng in Durban.
Imagine. I guess it's a business decision, Chris.
Thank you. Now, Siema. Van Rooyen. Ndaba beginning to take hold of that left-back position for Orlando Pirates. Dion Hotto, of course, freelancing there for a very long time. But the man signed from Richards Bay at the start of the season. Took a while to get into the Pirates team, but now it does look if he's evolved into the first choice out on the left-hand side.
But Dion is not too far, by the way. He's still on the bench watching the space. So Ndaba, I'm sure, whenever he looks to the bench, he's reminded that there's a man that is capable of doing the job from there. It's good pressure.
New signing from Marumo Gallants could also go out on the left. Kamatsani. Paulus switches, looking for Van Rooyen. A little bit overhit there for Dino.
Now, I'm a little bit concerned though about Nsendame, who obviously is attacking a wide right player. I've never seen him play as an inverted. He's always good in opening up the width of the pitch. But now, if we're going to have Van Rooyen as a fullback, I'm trying to imagine having Nsendame just in front of Van Rooyen. That slows Van Rooyen down from pushing forward. So he can play in a game where the coach wants to play differently. But maybe a team is sitting back and creating that low block where you want to open him up by bringing a wide player that will drag the defenders into the side. I'm just thinking. It's just me thinking.
Oh, he's in the queue as well. Remember, Moremi out on the... Excuse me, Paulus is... No, Moremi on the right, yes. Paulus and Mofokeng can switch at will.
Obviously, Mofokeng is the most interesting one that is trying to build himself into that number 10 position now. And it's coming. It's taking a bit of time, but it's coming. And I can't help but remember how he did so well as an inverted on the left-hand side. But you've got to create that level of creativity for a player with his ability.
Nice little touch he made there to Moremi. Now it's with Mbata. And Apollos over on the left. Looking for Mofokeng. Cut out by Charlie. Back again with the Buccaneers. Here's Apollos. Little touch. Too strong for Butuma. Good turn from Mosadi. He's been ever present this season, Mosadi, for Magesi. Started every single game of the season. New signing from Amatux at the beginning of the campaign. This is Vandala who's come into the starting lineup. First touch from Roy, gets away with it, has the ball in search of Mbutuma, but there was a little bit of traffic ahead of him which blocked his path. Mbata keeps that in play. Apollos gets this wide. Here come the Buccaneers again, teasing. Mofokeng, Butuma, first touch, just a little heavy. Played back calmly by Lechonolo Mokone to Chipuzeze, and up with Mosadi, who loses out under pressure.
Isolated from everybody. Easy for the three defenders to just crowd him, force him into giving the ball position away.
Now Moremi. Makaula. We'll let Mbata do the surging forward and just provide the cover in front of the two centre-backs. Nice ball. Here's Moremi. Can he save that from going out? Good effort. Might have hurt himself in the process, but Mbata certainly threaded it through superbly. Maybe just the weight a little heavy. There can be no complaints from Coach Wadu. It's his 26th game in charge of the Buccaneers since his rather surprise appointment at the beginning of the campaign. He's only lost 3. One of them, of course, to Lupopo in the Champions League. Losses, you might remember, were right at the beginning of the season in the league. The opening 2 matches. Yeah, Sekhukhune, by the way, the only side to have won here at Orlando in the league this season. And 2 trophies, of course, for Coach Wadu in double quick time. Moremi. It's all Orlando Pirates now, probing, looking for the openings, trying to find traction both on the flanks and through the middle. Siema.
Yeah, look at the blue shades behind the game, behind the ball. And that's exactly what Wadu was too concerned about. Is they need to find ways to bypass that crowd. Wing play, of course, Van Rooyen. There's one Daba on the other side. Is the one outlet that Low can help Pirates. But gee, just to get the ball wide into the running fullbacks is a big challenge.
Now, if you know this is going to happen, would you maybe consider having just one so-called defensive midfielder in a Makaula or an Mbata, and have someone with the creativity of a Maswanganyi, for example, William, in the middle? Or is he being saved to come in and produce some magic a little bit later?
But that's what Mofokeng is doing. That's why he's been robbed from the wide area, playing as an inverted to be a bit more central, because he's got the ability to weave his way in tight spaces. And it's a position that he's still trying to gain some momentum. Yes, Maswanganyi a little later, which he does every now and then. But what they're doing along the Pirates as well is brilliant. Shifting the ball from the one channel to the other is what sometimes can shift the block in front of them. Sometimes there's a delay recovery by one of the players where the opportunity, like in this case, just that little bit of a shift. A defender is delayed from covering that area and the ball is punched through.
Well, Chipuzeze, we fancy he's going to have a fairly busy evening here. Good clearance from him. He's in the Cup of Nations, of course, Chipuzeze, but behind Washington Ruby, the 40-year-old from Gallants in the pecking order for Zimbabwe. 20 minutes gone, the Buccaneers lead by 1. Tuma with the early goal. Tuma shrugging off the defensive intentions, and Mr. Gaza perhaps with a whistle that went a bit early. Charlie with a foul. And Charlie, by the way, 3 yellow cards coming into this game, so he's got to be careful. If he picks up another, he's going to be suspended. Magesi's next game is a cup match away at Uppington City next Saturday. Plenty of travel ahead for them. Quickly taken, yes, Moremi. Still Moremi. Can he get it square? Clearance came from Matima.
Excellent clearance. Dangerous too, because he's running towards his own goal. Likely for a ball to clatter and end up in the back of the net. It's always a possibility when you're facing your own goal as a defender. Did very well.
Chipazeze kicks that out, and down he goes. Another player who hasn't missed a game so far this season for his side. His 8th season in South Africa now, Chipazeze. He had 4 seasons with the Rocker in the top flight. Then he went down to the 2nd tier for 2 campaigns. Second season back in the top flight now with Magesi. So there's John Maduka. Does not seem to have a mobile device or something in his ear which would suggest he's communicating with Abram and Teo. What is the future for the former Malawi international? So Chipazeze kicked that out, and at the other side, Siema's taking a little bit of time as well for treatment. Is the shake of the head, I'm not feeling any pain, or is the shake of the head, I am feeling pain? Seems like Siema's okay, seems like Chipazeze is okay. The reserve goalkeeper for Magesi is Tawalo, who has not played at this level ever before. They'll be a little nervous about being forced into a change at this stage of the game.
It's not the kind of game as a youngster you want to make it your debut. I mean, I can tell you this, not too many maybe will share this moment. It's going to be your first game in the game playing a big game. It doesn't even matter if you come in as your first game. Those knees are nerves. Listen, you're shaking, you can hardly stand. But nobody knows about it, only you, of course. And you're not going to tell anybody around you that you are feeling like that.
And you were supposed to, and you were called the cool cat, and now you're telling us you were a bundle of nerves.
The reason of being cool is about being able to keep that away from the public.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Well, you've given away your secrets here on a Saturday afternoon.
There's a lot
many years after your career ended, so no harm done.
There's a lot you don't know, obviously.
Sabisi with possession for Pirates. Young man on the bench, Oratile Toalo. This is the first time he's been on the bench, never mind in the team. So, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He will not be cool catting at all. Now, here's Apollos. Can he get this into Mbatuma? Chipazeze saves. That was a good header, though, down into the ground. Chipazeze, a good goalkeeper. You've got to do something hard and firm to beat him.
You got to remember the game that Pirates won earlier. Chipazeze stopped a similar header from Butuma in that very same scenario. Zero reaction time, and yet Chipazeze was out there doing what he likes to do.
Butuma's goal, of course, the first of 2026 for the Buccaneers, seeing as that they failed to score against Sekhukhune last Saturday. Remy, Mbata, and now Mofokeng. Is that going for a corner? Indeed it is. Now have a look at the save again from Chipazeze.
It's a delivery of the cross that was perfectly pointed to Mbutuma alone in that center, and he gets a good header at it. That's brilliant save. Because you're not sure where it's going to go, so that readjustment temporarily gives you the balance to be able to make the save. It's brilliant from Chipazeze.
Right, Orlando Pirates, corner kick. Referee Gasa just having a little word. Set pieces these days, very much the fashion in world football. Everyone has a set piece coach and are beginning to practice these things more and more. Back post for Van Rooyen.
Oh, but this starts quite so easy.
Yes, Sabisi now, and Daba on the left. Mofokeng. Makaula. Mofokeng has switched to the left, and Apollos has come inside, and obviously switching around as the game progresses. Chases on here for Mosadi. And Mbata just comes back and just muscles the ball away from him. Moving rapidly now towards the 30-minute mark here. Big opportunity for the Buccaneers to put a statement win in here and put the pressure on Mamelodi Sundowns, of course defeated in the Champions League last night. And the pressure's on the champions. Good running again, this time from Mofokeng. Can he keep it in play? Yes is the answer. Barely though. Here's Moremi. Skips one challenge, lays it back. Clearance from Mokoni. Mofokeng drives it in this time. Another good block, and Moremi does not seem to have his shooting boots on today.
And I guess that one fell into his right, which is not the strongest.
Off the side of the boot from Sepang Moremi. Wonderful atmosphere. The fans are in full voice, as we mentioned already. Some 35,000 in the house. Big crowd for a game in the league against an opposition at the bottom of the table. But they are here to enjoy this Orlando Pirates challenge for the league title.
Nobody wants to miss it.
This is the kind of atmosphere that you hear in North Africa at the league matches. To have this replicated at stadiums throughout the country. Look at Moremi on the charger. This might be a little too strong. So many signings by the Buccaneers in the off-season, but I think we've just seen a picture of the two who've perhaps made the biggest impact, Apollos and Moremi. I think Sebele was very good in the first couple of months before he got injured. So there's confirmation. We've reached the half-hour mark, and that 9th-minute goal from Butuma separating the two sides here. missed it last night. 4 goals. Richards Bay and Golden Arrows drawing in the KwaZulu-Natal derby up at Richards Bay, a 2-2 draw. And then earlier on today, Chippa United winning against Durban City, taking themselves out of the relegation zone. And AmaZulu winning at Marumo Gallants to move into 3rd position on the log table. So we have 4 giants of the domestic games. Sundowns 1st, Chiefs are 2nd, AmaZulu are 3rd, and Pirates 4th as things stand at the moment. Or as things stood, I should say, before kickoff here tonight. Potentially wonderful competition for the closing months of the Betway Premiership, and a chance for all of us to sit on the edge of our seats right up until mid-May when the league comes to a close.
Reminds me of the AmaZulu of the 80s. Very competitive. And always in and around top 5.
And Joel Fire and Julius Chirwa scored against you all the time.
Sometimes you dream during the day like this. I mean, if it happened once, you make it sound like it was happening the whole time. No.
Archie Khadebe.
They were great players.
And they were loyal, and they were loyal to one club as well. If you think about it, they were
the Labas of this world.
Katalanga.
I can stretch
names for an older generation. There's a few Madalas on the sofa nodding their heads in agreement with us, and a lot of people saying, who? There's a bit of space now for Dino van Rooyen on this right-hand side. Ndaba, Butuma, both came from Richards Bay at the beginning of the season. Apollos, back into Butuma, back to Apollos. Did he keep it in play? No, flags up. Start creating some goal-scoring chances now, Orlando Pirates. All this possession, but not too many efforts to keep Chipazeze busy.
Few as they might be, but the ones that Chiefs use ahead to get involved with is very good ones. I mean, the header from Butuma, I mean, those are the kinds of headers that easily gets up.
Oh, what a ball from Mofokeng. Doesn't find Butuma, just out of his range.
Yeah.
Almost a no-look pass.
Defense leading pass is often called.
Tonight also for Butuma to maybe establish himself in the pecking order. Remember, Mabasa's left. He's gone off on loan to Stellenbosch, which means it's really in the number 9 role, Mahopa and Butuma. Get ahead of Mahopa in the pecking order. Is taking his place today. Mahopa's not in the matchday 18 as well. The other 2 players who've been left out from last week, Maswangangi and Sabele Bele, are on the bench for this match. Here's Moremi now. Still Moremi. That's given away to Mosadi. Can Magesi get something going here?
Unfortunately, because they are very compact in the middle, it means there's very few in the attacking phase of the game, and to release that where you can make a meaningful challenge of in the form of a high press is almost zero.
Foul committed by Charlie on Mbata. Quickly taken. There's Makaula. 4 players around Apollos very quickly, but still time for him to turn and move forward. Apollos again. Pressure on the Pirates defenders from Magesi. Might open a few holes here. Roy was looking for Makala, gets the throw in, comes off Vandala.
Just look at Vandala. He's one of those players that can be very offensive on a good day, but we've hardly seen any of him in the offensive side.
1 goal this season for Vandala. Came right at the beginning in the opening month against Golden Arrows. He got 4 in the Premiership last campaign for Magesi. Now a little chip in for Apollos. Pressure, seeing the ball almost being stolen away here by the Buccaneers. Mandala with Mosadi, whose throw in is that? I guess he can make a little more progress upfield. Bata almost stole that away. Some nice touches from him. Has he got support though? Looking to get Johnny Mokoni down this left-hand side involved. This is about as attacking as we've seen from Magesi in terms of numbers in the Pirates box, or the Pirates half of the field, I should say. Mosadi loses out. Mofokeng, Makaula, chance now if Pirates can get that ball up quickly. Mofokeng's given it away. Mosadi, the shot was blocked. Vandala still battling away. And in the end, was it Mofokeng who came and won the ball back? So he's made up for his error. Here's Moremi. A little bit of hesitation by Mashiko on the right-hand side. Allows Ndaba to push forward. Sabisi now crossing the halfway line. He's looking for Ndaba. Towards half-time, some 7 minutes or so to go. Mofokeng. I suppose in terms of coaching expertise, William, this game would be a good one for students to study how a low block works and how you try and break it down.
Indeed. Exactly, well said, Gleason. Because, I mean, Magesi is a clear example of a team that plays a low block. And Pirates are busy trying to move the ball into all the other channels outside or to the side of the field to try and bypass that block. Yes, you can use a few instances of movements for those two subjects.
Now, what's fallen on the ground here is... Looks like a sock or maybe a captain's band or a headband. Do you think it might be magical, William?
No.
There goes that theory.
It's a strapping that obviously got loose. And the player maybe didn't have time to take it out and could run to the side to drop it.
Right, 5 minutes now to half-time. We passed the 40-minute mark here at Orlando. Let's see if the Buccaneers can add a second. Can Magesi get themselves back in this game? They have created a shock or two here in the past. Apollos Mofokeng back again. Mofokeng with a shot and the goal. He expertly placed that into the corner. Chipizeze diving in despair, but unable to stop it. Just a little hole for Mofokeng, and he found it with superb accuracy.
Thinking speed, listen, and the belief that you can do it from such a range. It is another moment that didn't need the run. And got sort of effect, I think maybe 2 seasons back, he scored a similar cracker, but that was high. This one was nice and low. How he was able to generate so much power for a ground shot of that nature is what really baffles me. But it's accuracy of the highest kind to beat a goalkeeper of that range of Chipizeze's caliber.
It also helped William, to be fair, by the excellent surface here at Orlando Stadium. But that is super shot. Very little backlift as well. He just punches that thing.
Yes, no power. It's just placement. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. It's 2-0 here in favour of Orlando Pirates as Mofokeng adds to Batuma's goal and Orlando Pirates double their score. And they are now plus 15 in goal difference. Remember, Sundowns plus 17, so a still a chance tonight to go top of the table.
You know, this is going to help Mofokeng to believe that actually he can play that central part, attacking the number 10 position and score goals.
Well, he runs into the veteran Mahocha there. There's a 15-year age gap between the two of them. So Abraham Monteo on the bench today for Magesi. And not a happy start for him if this is to be a new job for a man who has been given the title of head coach in place of John Maduka. Now Mofokeng takes the ball away. They're going to leave it for Moremi. Moremi's going to cut in. Moremi's going to go for goal, and Chipizeze makes a very fine save. Well, after 2 poor misses, that was, I thought, for 1 second going to be third time lucky, and denied by Chipizeze.
He definitely looked bound for goal. And Chipizeze, like I said, as he does in so many different games, I mean, he comes out with these particular saves. He cuts into the inside. I mean, he barely gets his fingertips to the ball, but good enough to tip it over the bar. Oh, it's a beauty of a Kela. Excellent goalkeeping.
That little tip over the top reminds me of a Shongwe of old. Not going to deny that one, are you? Now, yeah, long range, and Ndaba, left footer! That's just wide.
Well, he's not making he's making saves, Chipizeze, but gee, the thing I'm thinking is, how long can he keep doing this? He's the savior of this team. I'm going to these finals in the Cotton Cup the other time. Last season was a similar case of Chipizeze, carrying this team all the way.
Well, you remember when he was at Baroka, they won the old MPTauComps knockout.
Yes.
And beat Orlando Pirates, or upset Orlando Pirates in the final. Here's Moremi. Can they get a third? Moremi. Back post. Oh, he hit that far too hard for Apollos. That is a very poor pass. Clever idea, though.
Intention was clear, Gleason. It's just a question of execution. He definitely, his intention was to find Apollos. Maybe a little bit too much power into the ball to find Apollos. But imagine that he gets Apollos. We could be talking a different story. Of course, all the defenders were trapped into this right-hand side of the attack for Orlando Pirates, trying to defend against Moremi.
Into stoppage time we go here. God, I think he'll be a lot happier with a sudden little burst of attacking intent from Orlando Pirates after long swathes of possession without really anything to show for it. It's a goal from Mofokeng and almost another one for Moremi.
Takes a lot of character for the players to be this patient.
Through the middle, Matuma with a flick on. Can Moremi get there first? Yes is the answer. Finds Mbata. He's got Van Rooyen in support. This half, and Super Chain's going to get a bit of action time here, playing at sweeper.
There's hardly anything to do.
Straight, you won't even need a shower. Now, here might be a chance for Mosadi. Excellent cover provided by Siema. Came across and stole it away at the right moment. Ndaba driving forward. Butuma wants it. Pulls it back here. Leaves it for Mofokeng. Here's a chance for Moremi. Left footer. Good block. Left footer again. Blocked a second time. Well, some brave defending from Magesi, putting their bodies on the line there. As far as Mbata. This is going to be the last passage of play here. In fact, Mr. Gasa says that's it for the first half. So, 2 goals. Butuma and Mofokeng. Orlando Pirates, well, they were going to always be the fancy team in this game, but they've lived up their expectation with it strongly.
Could have been more easily. They prized Magesi open on a number of occasions. It was only Chipazeze that stood in their way. But you want to make sure that this Orlando Pirates should continue applying this kind of pressure to see if they can get a whole lot more. Remember, come end of the season, it might end up being a question of goal difference. So if you can get them all in one game, why not?
Well, you mentioned the Lightning and the 8 against Buruma. We're a quarter of the way there, potentially. This game, just to remind you, delayed because of the threat of lightning. We had a 15-minute delay or so. But no damage done, certainly, as far as Orlando Pirates is concerned. And they are in the lead as we go into half-time. Mofokeng with the second, Butuma with the opener inside 10 minutes. The Buccaneers in the driving seat. In the Betway Premiership, but as things stand, the Buccaneers are heading to joint top place at the top of the table with Mamelodi Sundowns. 32 points. If they can hold on to this lead, will be their tally after 14 games. That'll mean 1 game in hand over the champions, which they'll catch up with midweek when they go down to Durban. Vital game in this championship chase for the Buccaneers. More than a decade since their last title, of course, so the hunger for the championship very much alive in the Buccaneer camp. Right, changes are about to be made. Maybe Mashiani to make his debut. They're bringing on the Ghanaian midfielder Darpo, Samuel Darpo, ex-Amazulu. He'll provide a fair amount of muscle there in the middle, you can be sure of that. And Mashiani will come on for Masekela, and a little bit of an option up front, newly signed. He played at Royal AM, of course, under John Maduka and Abraham Teo. Dino Van Rooyen off to allow Sibele Bele on, so that'll be just a bit more traction down the right-hand side, I fancy, William. Maybe not as much down the right as they were hoping for. There's been a lot down the left from Ndaba.
Yeah.
Is Sibelebele going to be the man to open things up on the right as well?
He's played there in the past, even in the TS Galaxy when he was still there. He now and then featured as a fullback. So he basically loves the space in front of him. It's more like a highway for him. That's why, for me, you cannot have a right attacking player in front of a fullback like him.
So changes on either end here at the start of the second half. Orlando Pirates defending the goal to the right with this 2-goal lead. They made 3 changes coming into this match from their previous game last Saturday. A goal was drawn away in Polokwane against Sekhukhune United, and there were 5 changes from Magesi, who are playing their first game of the new year. First game since the resumption of the league after the break for the Cup of Nations finals. Good ball here. Ndaba maybe a little hasty in trying to get it into the danger zone. Suggesting maybe didn't see with the lights. This is a chance for Mashiko, the youngest man in the Magesi side, 23-year-old. Let's see what Mukoni can set up here. Mashiani's first touch in a Magesi jersey. Dispossessed very quickly by Orlando Pirates. That's been the story of the game so far for Magesi, unable to hold on to the ball with the intense pressure being applied by the Buccaneers. Without a win since October when they beat TS Galaxy in the league. 3 defeats and 2 draws in their last 5 matches since. Now, he has Apollos, switches play. First opportunity for Moremi in the second half. Chipazeze makes the save, cleared away. Immediately into action, and the Buccaneers have it back again. Moremi, oh, that's lovely. Now, drags it back. Oh, it's a tough ball for Butuma. Made a good effort.
Indeed, first of all, just to find himself in that box. Sometimes you find teams lacking in presence in that box, and Butuma is an ever-present. He's not a big striker, but he's very strong. He's not afraid to get stuck into those type of small areas. Maybe the ball a little bit behind him. He needed to readjust his upper body just to align his header.
A wonderful build-up play by Moremi, however, to conjure up that opportunity. He was another who didn't immediately get into the Pirates lineup when he joined from Amazulu at the start of the season. Took a month or so before he got an opportunity to show his stuff. But very hard to keep him out of the team now, that's for sure.
Lets himself down in Ndaba. His first touch, a little bit too long. That was a ball to roll out.
I guess he almost immediately under pressure again. Timo will clear, not very far though. Game for Butuma today. An early goal, of course, a big confidence boost for him as well. To get themselves out of their own half on Magesi. This might be a bit more promising. Mokone.
Obviously,
it's going to be a throw in favour of Magesi. Sorry.
Obviously, they're trying to work their way through a build-up play, and they've tried the long pass. It's not working because there's very few in that attacking phase of the game. So I think the message at halftime is let's try to build a little bit more, but you got to do it a little bit better because you know the opponents are going to high press you. They're going to force some errors and probably maybe score in one of those processes. But I think Stanteo has decided, you know what, let's trying at least, because we're not going anywhere right now. Any ball that is played long into the front players, it's like a giveaway. And as well, if we sit and expect those long passes, it means there's going to be no pressure in that middle. But if we put a few players with a bit of presence up front, we have a chance to at least maybe force Pirates not to play up or through the middle. I think they're slightly better from that point of view in these beginning stages of the second half. You see a little bit of a press in that middle.
Well, the two changes also having an impact. Here's Vandala. Masadi is perhaps the hardest worker in the first half, chasing a lot of lost causes. Mashiko finds a bit of an opening, but straight at Mbata. Polis Mofokeng. Makaula. Foul on Makaula.
Yeah, it's a collision of the ball instant. Ball long gone. Could have been given as a foul in favor of one of the Pirates. Levy, I think it was that smashed himself into Makaula. Oh, by the way, at halftime, took a walk around, and guess who I bumped into? Bule himself. He's in the house. And the obvious question that I was able to pose to him is, where have you been?
Well, you're not playing.
And of course, he says slight injury, an ankle. He says he'll be back in a few days. In fact, he's already training. It's a question of time before he gets into full fitness, and he will be back. For those that are concerned, I know there's been questions out there, where is Mbule? Since the Nations Cup, since the return to domestic football, he hasn't been seen.
Now Mofokeng with possession for Orlando Pirates. Here's Moremi again teasing them. Back to Mofokeng, bit of space. Little ball over the top in search of a Polis. Battle with Mashiko will mean a free kick in favour of Magesi.
And then, of course, the most outstanding player in the first part of the season, Nduli, is out, still out with the injury and Achilles tendon.
Sikhle Nduli.
Sikhle, that is. There he is.
This Cabello, Klabini, Mbule. Those players who not involved today. Good to see Tapelo Koki there as well, because remember he was involved in that car accident where the coach was injured when they were coming back from Taberga. Another one that we forgot to mention in the pecking order for centre-backs. First touch there. Mokone, long ball here. It's going to be easily connected. Rapadu with the first touch, the new signing from Polokwane City, only his 13th outing, 12 matches in 2.5 seasons in the colours of Polokwane before his transfer in this January transfer window, which closed, of course, yesterday, 5 p.m. We haven't yet got the full list of all of the late transfers, but there were some interesting ones, including involving Magesi. Wonder boy Makubu is actually the property of Sekhukhune United. He's been on loan at Magesi, second season. He's now gone to Stellenbosch. Was he onside? Butuma, Mofokeng. Second time now, been a bit of a lazy pass from Mofokeng. There's Makaula, Mofokeng, much better this time. Butuma. Good steal from Siema. Another player has been a fine revelation this season.
Amazing. You know, you always look, when you think of a defender, you want somebody big and tough, yes, mobile, and all that. But if you look at Siema, there's nothing of that sort. And yet, so effective.
Mofokeng teasing. Muremi, left foot. Again, Apollos. Shot curled. And wide of Chipuzeze's goal. Well, he was always trying to shape and shoot in that build-up, Apollos. So when the ball came back to him, he was not going to miss out on the opportunity.
He doesn't quite get the can on the ball. Chipuzeze's head covered.
Magesi ball. And bundled over there was Efronolo Mokone. He's been a stalwart since they won promotion, of course, Magesi. They were outright winners of the Motsepe Foundation Championship 2 seasons ago to win promotion up. Since then, of course, they've fixed up the Shisheko Stadium and enjoyed some good form there. Owen Dagama was a big help for them last season in helping them to stay up. Don't forget the contribution of Clinton Larson, who took them to that trophy in their very first campaign. What a fairy tale win that was. No yellow cards in this game, by the way, so far. Dapo on the receiving end there. He's normally the one who gets stuck into the ankles of the other players. This goes against Makaula.
Did they play together at the Mazulu?
They did.
Makaula?
Yes, they did.
Dapo.
Now, chance. Drag back. And Sibele with the defensive work. Finds Moremi. Mofokeng. Given away. Dapo. Johnny Mokone has taken a higher roll up front from his usual right back position. Left back, excuse me. Shiko on the right here. A heavy touch in the middle from Matima. They've moved Matima out of the three centre backs and up into the middle, up into the midfield, I should say. Dapo over the top. Mashiani with Siema. Foul against Siema. So we're coming up to the hour mark. Is that the first catch in anger that the goalkeeper Sipo Chain has had to make in this game?
No, it's the second one. There was another similar ball that was hanging high from the left-hand side of the attack. No real save, just a catch.
Is that a throw-in or a foul? And this is going to be the first yellow of the game. Mandala picks up the caution. It's all over Moremi. Oh, yes. Swing of the left foot did not go down well with the referee. So, Andre de Jong is about to make his debut, and it looks like the ex-Stellenbosch player will get a first run out in Buccaneer colours. Final instructions from Coach Wadu there.
Does that mean Butuma now will come up? Because he's also holding that high position as a striker. The difference spot here is that again there is back to goal. Very strong. Challenges for things in the head.
Sabisi ball inside. De Jong's not a natural number 9 though, William.
He drifts in and out, but he does. When the high ball is coming in, when the ball has gone wide, he's sure to get himself into that centre to attack the cross.
Now Magesi looking to get themselves back in this game. Touch in there for Mosadi, breaks free here for Apollos. Butuma just looking to stay onside, he's drifting off, so that's why the ball from Apollos doesn't come in. Mofokeng finds Moremi. There's Mbata. Dava on the overlap. Magesi very quick to get bodies back behind the ball, forcing Pirates back.
Ah, it's a great pass from the goalkeeper.
Dava. Pirates again with plenty of possession, looking for goal number 3. Mbata. Little turn from Butuma, doesn't find a colleague. It's Mbata back. Butuma again. Is he going to maybe fire a shot in here? Looking instead to find Sebele Bele, who is pushing forward. Now Vandala on this right for Magesi. Can they conjure something up here? Dapo, he was in that side that won 3-2 here in the Carling knockout last season. Mofokeng. Apollos. Still Apollos. Shot from an angle. Fired in with some venom and well saved again by Chipizeze, who, it must be pointed out, also pushed it away from the goal. Excellent stop from the Zimbabwean.
Sometimes it's easier said than done.
Here's Moremi. They keep coming, the Buccaneers. Little dummy by Butuma. He thought maybe Siema would continue the run. Didn't find the centre-back. Ball's out of play, and we are going to have double change here for the Buccaneers. De Jong and Nemtangela. Butuma off, Mbata off, so Nemtangela is on for Mbata. And Andre de Jong will appear for the first time in the colours of Orlando Pirates. He's played for Amazulu, he's played at Royal AM, and of course sold by Stellenbosch in the January transfer window. This was the goal by Butuma, which gave Pirates the lead.
Big round of applause for de Jong.
I think fans recognise he's a player of some quality, which is of course why Pirates signed him.
And this is of course,
it's a big...
Orlando Pirates knew already Mabasa was on his way out.
Yes. It's a big 6 months for him, or 4 months for him, because you know he's been on the fringes of New Zealand's team. They go to the World Cup. And now he's playing for a big team.
Yeah.
If he makes an impact here over the next couple of months, he's got a good chance of making the squad for USA or New Zealand. I think his chances have been given a big boost by this transfer.
And I'm trying to imagine for the quality that is shown playing for teams that maybe didn't play on the front foot as much as Orlando Pirates will offer him as an opportunity. It will be interesting to see just how high will his game lift with the quality of players all around it.
There's also been a change for Magesi. Mashiko has gone off with 25 minutes remaining. Mashiko has gone off, but they haven't brought the changes on yet. So here, Nemtangela's first contribution. Ball in the middle, De Jong with a chance for his first goal. And how did Nemtangela miss that from that range? Well, to be fair, the defender was right on top of him, but point-blank range in front of goal. There's a good chance for De Jong as well to score with his first touch. Look at that. You've got to bury those, William.
I guess Chipezizo was there, and the defender, two defenders, if anything. But yes, he's still going to find the target. Let the goalkeeper deflect it in. Then we can talk a different story. Very explosive when Pirates are on the attack. Good speed, good skill.
Certainly been a dominant performance tonight, although Magesi looking a little bit more productive in the second half. That means that potentially going to be more gaps that the Buccaneers can exploit. Now Makaula, those three changes from Magesi still waiting to happen, and Mashiko is off, so for the moment battling with 10 men. Mashiko looked to limp off the right back. Count 9 outfield players, William. I don't know if you concur with me. One man short at the moment, Magesi. That's too strong. So they're going to get those changes on now, Magesi, and we are going to see a triple change. Edmo Chirambadare, the Zimbabwean, to come on. There will also be Victor Makaka. One more who's evaded us for the moment. Tebo Mofokeng, who's a centre-back. Abraham Mateo has made his changes, all 5 now for Magesi. I'm sure in the post-match interview, Fisa will be trying to unravel what's the story with the coaching appointment there at Magesi. Now, Mofokeng is down, and the whistle has sounded. He's not happy with that challenge. That is Christopher Shabalala. He's our winner today of the Best Dressed Fan. Remember, the competition can earn you 10,000 in your pocket, and if you have a Betway account, well, they double the money for you. So, an incentive. We have a score update from Polokwane, where Orbit College, in desperate need of points, are 2-2 with Polokwane City. It's not good for Magesi because Chipper won earlier today. Magesi were hoping perhaps to get off the bottom of the table. They will certainly remain there ahead of their next game, which is against next league game against the Golden Arrows, home on the 13th of February. Before that, of course, they've got Uppington City in the first round of the Nedbank Cup.
Do you agree with me if I say Chipper now have gone 3 on the trot? Work it out.
I think it's 2.
Today's game.
Including today's game.
Well, you've always got the information right on your fingernails, and I'll leave it to you to do a little bit of work while calling the game here.
Here's Muremi. Apo gets the challenge, but we will have a throw in here for Orlando Pirates. They're looking for more goals here. The coach is enthusiastically playing ball boy, trying to get the ball back into play. Here's Siema. Forward they come, the Buccaneers. Goals from Butuma and Mofokeng in the first half. Who's going to add, if any, here in the second stanza? It's Apollos. Foul committed by Mokoni.
Once again.
Yep. Now we have set piece opportunity. Remy with some instructions. Who they're aiming for? The big men have gone forward as well. So BC and Siema are in there, the two centre backs. Cowler's up as well. Floated, looking for De Jong, beaten in the air. Sibele and Sipo Chain back in their own half for a second or two, joined now by the centre backs. Here's Siema. Under 20 minutes remaining. Remember, we had a late kickoff here because of the threat of lightning. Kaula, Moremi, Mofokeng, stop challenge. A little reluctant to go into that challenge with Mahocha. Moremi. Free kick goes against him. Maswanganyi is standing by to join the fray. Ahead Nemtanjela and Boyon come on, and at half-time we saw Dino van Rooyen go off and Sibele Bele brought on by Coach Wadu.
Final passes not working for Orlando Pirates. We've seen quite a number being given away through maybe too much power played.
Looks like it might be a double change there.
But I like Magesi, still very disciplined in holding the line.
Tomorrow there's only one league game on the Betway Premiership calendar. TS Galaxy at home at the Bombela Stadium. 3:30 kickoff. William Shongwe will be travelling down for that one against Sekukune, who will be playing a fourth game in a 10-day spell. They've had a pretty torrid start to 2026. Magesi, by the way, still without a win on the road. They've only managed 3 points, 3 draws in 8 games, 5 defeats, and this looks like it's going to be number 6. Here's De Jong, little touch on. Apollos, was that a handball? No, that was the claim from Magesi. Thank you, allow play to continue. They're still saying to the referee, what about the handball there? We're hearing that Moremi and Apollos will be going off. Maswanganyi coming on. It looks like Sendami will get his debut. Here's a chance for Sibele Bele! Oh, for a moment I thought that was in the back of the net, but wide of goal.
Yes, the angle was a little bit tight, but you know, if you try and squeeze it on that near post, the chance that the goalkeeper will close it down. But we normally advise players coming from that type of angle to go for the far post, across the face of goal.
You remember the contribution he made against Mamelodi Sundowns in the early stage of the season, the MTN8. Pirates to overcome Sundowns and go on to win the trophy.
That's just a build-up for him, I guess. For him to be able to return into that kind of form, the season, you'll need this type of games. And just being able to feature doesn't matter the position, because you don't want to stretch yourself too much when you just recover.
So Daniel Sendami from Zimbabwe via Jwaneng Galaxy in Botswana, and Marumo Gallants will get his first run out in Orlando Pirates colours, one of their 3 signings in the January transfer window. Apollos and Moremi go off. Maswanganyi is the other man onto the park. 15 minutes for Sendami in particular to make a little bit of an impression here on the home fans.
You see now, it goes back to the old. Mufokeng will pick up his left-hand side of the channel, playing as inverted. Sendami will pick up the right-hand side. Maswanganyi comes in the center.
Makaula, Mofokeng. And Tajela finds Ndaba. Here is Mofokeng. Again, hard-running challenge there, which is not too keen to get involved in. Here's the throw. Stolen away. Ndaba loses his boot at the same time. He had some strapping on the field in the first half. Now he got a stray boot. Nicely done by Siema, though. No threat from Magesi, and wasn't that a fine first touch?
Oh, for a defender.
Yeah.
Look, he's smooth. Every now and then see him pushing forward with the ball. Very mobile, very easy on the ball.
The interesting thing about him is he hardly played a game at Galaxy, and the Pirates obviously saw something that many others did not. Mr. Young looks as if he's going to be a massive crowd favourite. He just touched the ball briefly there, and the crowd have gone delirious with excitement. Still in play. That's a mistake with Mosadi taking possession. Fouled by Makaula as well. Makaula with surgery before the season started, missing much of the first half of the campaign, including those trophy successes.
Last game of the season where he gets injured. That is last season.
Still won the best midfielder award. Now, Magesi with a set-piece opportunity. This we've not seen. Needs to be a lot better than that. Dapo playing it out wide again. Disappointing delivery initially from Chirambadare. Minutes to go. Chirambadare has the free kick. Another chance for a better set-piece delivery. Sipo Chain comes out under a bit of pressure, gets the foul, and we'll get a chance for Pirates to clear.
Came out a long way. I like a goalkeeper that is that confident and courageous at the same time. Because you haven't done nothing much, but you just want to get involved. You just want a little bit of the action as well. but obviously with a bit of pressure, Levi Masian is the player that fouls him.
He's in need of a bit of treatment. On come the medical staff. Excellent turnout tonight. Kaiser Chiefs fans in the house as well. They're up tomorrow in Durban against Zesco of Zambia in the African Confederation Cup. Just a little bit of the magic spray there for Sipho Chain. No goals here in the second half for the Buccaneers. It's, of course, those 2 strikes in the first half. Mofokeng got the second. Let's just remind you of the contributions today. Moreni back to Butuma. That came after 9 minutes. Perfect start for Orlando Pirates, and much delight for Butuma as well. And then Mofokeng with the second one. This came 4 minutes before half-time. Assist and the goal for Mofokeng in tonight's game. He's probably a strong candidate for the man of the match. So John Maduka, what's his future? Taken off the bench and replaced by Abraham Mateo, who, according to the official team sheet, is head coach. John Maduka is still in the crowd, which puzzles us as to what is actually happening at Magesi. Chirambadare trying to force his way through. Does get a corner kick here for Magesi. So set-piece chance again for the team from Shesheho. They got a late consolation when they were here in October in the Carling knockout. This is their first corner of the game. What are they going to be able to do with it? Again, it's very disappointing from Chirambadare. Looking for Dapo, the near post. All those players coming forward and no elevation on their kick at all.
But would you agree with me, Christian, if I say for Magesi, the second half, slightly better performance? They've actually pushed a little bit higher. They've threatened that offensive part of the field, and we saw a little bit of China getting involved, the set pieces, the corner kicks, and it's been a bit balanced. It's a much better performance, except for that maybe they weren't quite clinical.
All the changes, of course, for Orlando Pirates as well means that you lose a little of your fluidity. Now he got a little knock in the face. Yellow card as well. Dampo is the man who's got the yellow card. Catching Sendami. So this Dampo. Ghanaian, a hard man in the midfield. Lifted from third-tier obscurity by Clinton Larson. Having had a good career at Amazulu for a couple of seasons. Joins Mandala in the book. Now, set-piece Pirates. Let's see what they can do. Much better elevation. Good clearing header as well from Mokoni. Touch. Looking to get Chirambadare going. On the fancy back heel from Rapadu, who's joined from Polokwane City, making his debut today. Fairly quiet afternoon for him, attacking-wise, and a lot of defensive work.
Very quiet. for a player that we know is always on the front foot at Polokwane City, and which explains basically just how hard Magesi found it going forward.
Fans have found their voice again. Nice touch from Nemtajela. Now here's the Young to Ndaba. He ran out of room there, Ndaba. Was there a little push? I don't think so. Neither does the referee, and it was good defensive work at the end of the day by Mofokeng. The Pirates man down, Nemtajela needing a little bit of that magic spray. Came very close to making the Bafana squad for the Cup of Nations. Remember, he was in the preliminary squad that Hugo Bruce named. It almost came out of nowhere. A good month or so of football for Orlando Pirates catapulted him into contention. In the end, didn't make the final squad, but would have been a big boost for his confidence.
Makes a big difference. Makes a big difference which team you play for. You recognize that easily. And your contribution, I think, as an individual into a big side also just zooms up. The quality of the players around you does help elevate your game.
Now, Chipazeze gets a yellow card, and I think I'm right in saying that means he misses the cup game. Yes, dissent from Chipazeze. Now, cynics would suggest that given it's a cup game against the second-tier team, maybe he was looking for the yellow in order to work off his suspension.
Great thinking, person. I think that's exactly the point. Makes a lot of sense. And I guess your young goalkeeper, Taolo, will find an opportunity to maybe get himself into things.
The other goalkeeper is Shadi Shabalala on the books at Magesi, but Chipazeze hardly missed the game last season. Shabalala had a couple of outings, so I'm not sure what his situation is. But Upington City, I think, will be very happy to know that Elvis Chipazeze will not be in goal next Saturday when Magesi come visiting in the cup match. 6 minutes to be added on. We're here at the end of the 90. Referee Gasa enjoying himself. De Jong brought down, gets the free kick. Comes up. Oh, look at that challenge by Mafoka, who immediately, I think, realized what had happened there. And was that a hand of apology, or was he trying to keep his balance there? But he's very lucky not to go into the book. I think maybe the referee missed that. He must have. The crowd, who really are lifting the volume here at Orlando Stadium, are actually deserving of another goal, given their contribution as a 12th man. Mofokeng to take this. Just a little dink. Sabisi at the back post. Chipazeze collects comfortably.
Unfortunately, not enough up front for him to play the ball immediately.
Interesting how high Mokone has been pushed in this second half. Real change for the left back. Some header from the other Mokone. Let's see what Pirates are going to conjure up here. 1 minute to go, plus then the stoppage time. Foul in favour of Mosadi. Just lost a little bit of the momentum they had, but it often happens that way when you make the changes in the second half. Foul by Makaula, who might be treading a very dangerous line now. There's been a few from him. Still got a wonderful engine for a man of his age.
I'm just looking at the wonderful timing of Manduli's injury into the time that he recovers to fill in that gap.
It's working out well for Orlando Pirates, but it shows that if you want to be a contender, you really need to have a top squad. We've learned that, of course, from Mamelodi Sundowns over the last decade. Pirates' purchases 15 at the beginning of the season, plus another 3 now, and all really been of a very high quality. Mahocha straight to the goalkeeper. He's going to take a bit of time here. And he can't take too much time. He's got to get rid of that ball in 8 seconds, otherwise it's a corner.
I like the idea of a corner.
Have you seen that applied in a PSL match this season?
Yesterday, actually twice yesterday. Both goalkeepers from either side. Game errors and Richards Bay. Yes, corner kicks were given. The thing is, in the past, when a goalkeeper is caught with a delayed action, the ball was placed where it is, which I thought was very unfair, because then the opposition team has a chance to reset piece very close. So now a corner kick, at least it gives chance to the defending team to set their stall up.
There's Mofokeng. There's the live log. They won't go above Sundowns on goal difference, Pirates, unless there's a final flurry here. Here's De Jong. This is out. A little bit slow there and got caught. Bottom half of the log, we'll see Magesi still propping up the table. Orbit College above them, and Chipper, of course, winning today. Gallants losing to Amazulu. They're in trouble, and Stellenbosch just above them. Stellenbosch playing tomorrow in the African Confederation Cup against Shabab Belouizdad of Algeria. And then don't forget Wednesday night, the opening game of this year's Nedbank Cup, defending champions Kaizer Chiefs away at Stellenbosch at the Cape Town Stadium. 7 p.m. kickoff. It is going to be packed, I'm sure. De Jong, Mentajela, down he goes, no chance. Nice little back heel there from De Jong. Last touch here by Mofokeng. Throw in for Magesi. Still a bit of time to go in this game. Just back to that rule, William, about the goalkeeper holding the ball for longer than 8 seconds and then conceding a corner. You do know that FIFA brought that in for the season worldwide. Let's just watch Magesi here on the attack. All the way through. Looking for a consolation, and they've got their second corner of the game. It was good persistence from Rapadu.
Can only be a consolation. Time is almost out.
So that rule from FIFA brought in worldwide. It was implemented for the first time at the Club World Cup in the USA. Who was the first goalkeeper to run foul of it? Our very own Ronwen Williams.
Remember that.
South Africa first, as usual. To the near post, Dartpo with a little dummy. Oh, it's still alive for Magesi, but maybe something on the counter here. Maswanganyi, look at the pace going forward now. Ndaba, what an engine he's had today. Ref has decided no advantage for Pirates, so they're going to have the free kick. Four of the 6 minutes added on at the end of the 90 have elapsed. We are now left with 120 seconds. Are Pirates going to just play this out? Is there going to be one last little opportunity to change the scoreline here? Just to remind you, Galaxy and Sekhukhune, 3:30 kickoff tomorrow, live on your World of Champions from Bombela Stadium. Another foul and another yellow card. Who's that gone to? Taken quickly by Maswanganyi. card for Mahocha. He's also suspended for the next game. And he saves himself a trip to Uppington. Yeah, I thought yellow card initially went to Mokoni, and maybe Mahocha was also booked there for dissent. I'm not sure. But De Jong, with one of his clever touches, caught by Letonoro Mokoni. Maybe Mahocha had something to say to the referees, or maybe they both got booked, or it was just the yellow for Mokoni, which would mean that Mahocha would not be suspended for next week. Yeah, that wasn't particularly clear.
Happy with the scoreline, happy with the 3 points.
Here's De Jong. Then Tajela, last attack of the game. Can they get one more? De Jong! Oh, so close to a debut goal.
Good move once again, Orlando Pirates. Excellent in the passing game, going forward. Nice movement, nice touches. Yeah, I like the shot. The second late is De Jong.
Yeah, was on the wrong foot as well for him. That is the game, ladies and gentlemen. Last touch from Andre De Jong, wide of the target, but Orlando Pirates have two, or I should say 3 very handy points. And they are now tied, top of the table, behind Mamelodi Sundowns on goal difference only, but with a game in hand, of course. The championship chase is looking like it is going to go down to the wire. Hopefully for us neutrals, we are going to enjoy a fabulous 3 months of league action before we find out who the champions are.